Do you love yourself? I know that I've struggled with that question myself a million times, and I hate to say that a lot of times my answer has been no. And that's just a sort of pain that most of us do understand, but most of us refuse to talk about. We don't really want to look that deeply into that void. We shouldn't, right? Because that's the one that hurts the most. I don't think so. I think that's the void that we need to look into the most. Humans as a whole, we are a social species, and in the way that we are at this point with the internet and everything else, it's almost like we have overwhelmed ourselves. We have stuck ourselves in this natural competition where we can see everyone. We always see their best moments and how they're doing. And we just assume that we aren't enough. We're not doing the things that we need to do. We're busy, we're procrastinating, we're doing nothing. And yet, if you looked back 10 years ago, you would realize for a lot of us, we are at the points that we had dreamed for. And yet we can't actively say that we love ourselves. We can't even actively be proud of ourselves. Just that statement, I am proud of you, is so rare for some of us to hear that the concept of it in itself is scary. And that's what I wanted to discuss today. Why are we stuck in this sort of a thought process? In particular, what actually is causing us to think that we are just not worth loving? The reality is that as we, as a generation, Gen Z in particular, and the generations to come, we have grown up with the internet. We have grown up with a constant string of attention, and the lack of it hurts. The reality is that with the internet present, there is no way for us to not see what everyone else is doing. And everyone else always seems to be doing well because that's what we post online. We don't post the parts that hurt. We don't talk about the things that genuinely matter because they suck. And that's what I've decided to do today. I decided that maybe we do need to talk about this and that somebody does need to point it out. We have whole movies made about this exact feeling and people literally, jumping for the exact same kind of thought process that we're discussing about right now. The reality is that most of us are well more than enough and deserve to love ourselves, but we're too stuck looking for love in places other than within ourselves, and it is causing us massive heartache. Being on the internet constantly has given us this false sense of security that we can always, and all of us can be millionaires and every single one of us is special, and that, is that what you're looking for? Genuinely. Is what you're looking for what you see on the internet? If I genuinely ask you this one very simple question, do you have an answer? What makes you happy? Not what you think makes you happy, what numbers would make you happy. If I strip away everything from you, you have no internet, you have no people to please, you have no friends looking at you, you have no one judging you. You're alone. Would you still be happy? What is the one thing that you could do to make yourself happy? Do you even have an answer to that? That's the point. I know that there are many times that I do not have an answer for that. Even right now, thinking about it, it's making me feel dreadful. My chest is heavy because I don't know if I have an answer to that question. For me right now, YouTube videos, making these and trying to make some sort of a point and talk about things that are affecting us is something that's making me feel happy. It's making me feel useful. It's making me feel like I'm worth something. But that's the exact point. Why are we as a generation so focused on being worth something? Why is it that we need to prove every aspect of our being as something that deserves to live, that deserves to be loved? Love shouldn't be a resource that we treat as though it is finite. Love is an unlimited, completely unlimited resource, and yet we use it so sparingly. Humanity in itself has drained down with the freedom to see everything that is wrong and the freedom to say whatever we want without anyone knowing the actual face behind it. We've decided that we no longer need to be social. Well, not in the ways that matter anyway. We don't need to love ourselves. We don't need to care about ourselves. We don't need to look into things that deeply. Because why? There are hundreds and millions of people that are doing so much worse than us. We're clearly in a good position. Why do we feel bad about ourselves? Right? Like, of course we're fine. Why ever improve? Tell me, are you really okay with that? If I asked you 5 years down the road if you were the exact same person, would that genuinely be okay for you? Would that be something that you're fine with? If it is, then you're on the wrong video. This video was not meant for you. I make this video because I haven't seen anyone else talk about it. Not directly, at least. Finding the ability to just say and believe that you do genuinely like yourself as a person and that you would hang out with yourself if you were someone else is just massive. And it's one of the most difficult things that you can do. To quote a movie, I believe it is The Perks of Being a Wildflower, we get the love that we think we deserve. Or no, I think it's we accept the love that we think we deserve. If you don't even think that you're worthy of your own love, the person that spends the most time with you, every moment with you, knows every single one of your secret. If they look at you and don't choose that you're worth it, then you'll never believe that someone else can love you too. The questions that we have, especially in current types of relationships and situationships, where we always ask, do you love me? That consistent need for reassurance and simple behaviors needing to be explained away, those are not the other person not giving you enough reassurance. Those are you not believing the words, because why would you? If you can't look at yourself and say that I love me, why would anyone else saying I love you ever be true? If you can find a million reasons why you wouldn't love yourself or hate yourself, why wouldn't you think that someone else can't find those reasons anyway? And that's the kind of curse that we are in. That's a situation that has poisoned every single well of your thinking. Whether that be in careers, why try? I'm not good enough. Why do you get to say that when you haven't put in every last effort that you have to do the thing that you want to do? How can you sit there and complain about natural talent when you haven't exhausted your innate abilities yourself? We have found a reason and a way to excuse everything, even excuse hating ourselves, because there's always someone worse. And that's just an epidemic in of itself. The anxiety, depression, and everything that we see rising in our generation, it isn't because everything is worse. It's because everything is now visible. Things weren't always better. It isn't that everyone just had all of this love and affection in their life and everything was good. No, it was just they didn't have the ability to see everything that was wrong. They didn't have the ability to see a million people better than themselves. And they had the ability to sit down and actually say that, hey, today went well. That's why we just are now struggling. We have access to everything. We have and are currently living in one of the best time periods for human beings ever in terms of health, lifespan, disposable income, and everything else. And yet we are one of the generations that has most mental health problems, or at least, we are diagnosing them now. So they're actually known about and talked about. And yet none of us ever really go ahead and just say how we are actually doing, because that answer still hurts. We save that for a therapy room. We don't save that we don't share that with anyone else. We don't share that with our friends. We don't share that with people that we love because we're too scared of how they might look at us. Buddy, here's the key point. It's not your fault that you are the way that you are, but it is your responsibility to look at who you are now. It is your responsibility to become someone that you can actually love. And more than that, it is your responsibility to learn that you already deserve love. You already are someone, you already are worth it. And until you can say that to yourself and genuinely believe it, no one else can convince you of it.